The price of this car is $32,000. Well, how's about I pay you $31,000 and you throw in a free wax kit or something like that? And then the dealer will think about it and say, you know what? Yeah, I can do that. Or they'll say, well, I can't give you $1,000 off it, but I'll throw in the wax kit plus a free 3-month service, and you still pay full price. So, but that's where the haggling starts. You start negotiating a price. So it's like, if I do this, these are my standard rates. And if someone comes in and says, well, yes, but I would like, like I did, I would like a tractor with smoke coming out the chimney for use when people become subscribers. And you can come back and say, well, I can't do that for £50, but maybe I can, do it for 75, something like that. But, it's sort of, and then we negotiate. So, well, I can't make £75. Can we do it for 70? And it's you're willing to deal. So people are, like that. They want to feel that they're getting a good deal. You want to feel that you're getting paid for your work. And, oh dear, I've run out of stuff. So close. Let me review the map, because I am here. Looks like I might be able to get out there. Let's drive over there and have a look. There's a lot of trees in the way. But yeah, it's like buying a new car or anything like that. You want to feel. When you're a purchaser, you want to feel like you're getting a good deal. You're not getting ripped off. When you're the seller, you want to feel that your costs have been covered. And if you're both negotiating with that in mind, oh, look at that, that's awesome. Then you'll get deals. So I'm just going to buy some from here. So what came up? Oh, that's tiny. Don't need that. That was the other thing that came up. That is a cultivator for 20,000. That is for me. Nah, it's too small. Okay. And consumables. There we go. Fertilizer. We will buy one of those. But yeah, then if you've got an advertising panel, as I've said, I can, I've offered, if you've got something that advertises yourself, you can get out there. I will put it on my YouTube and Twitch pages, and all you have to do now you've created that, you can just offer that to every client you have. Would you be so kind as to put this ad on your channel so that other people get to see it? And if they've seen it already, if they've already, oh, that's how I found you, was to see that panel on somebody else's page, then every time you will get, you'll get another free shot at advertising. The other thing I would also consider, obviously, most of your stuff so far has been related to Farming Simulator, obviously the tractor and what have you. If people don't have their own logo, they may be happy to... I've got the wrong thing selected. Take suggestions, but there would be nothing to stop you, say, creating an image like the OSE image, but for blue or red or something like that. But in theory, I mean, turning a green tractor into something that looks a little bit like Thomas the Tank Engine. I don't know, I don't do graphics, but that doesn't seem to me to be incredibly difficult modification, and half your work's done, in theory, I'm guessing. But yeah, it's a matter of putting yourself out there and being able to get your name out there. In the real world, people will give out flyers. They'll walk up and down the street and put flyers in plastic bags, hanging them over the door handle so people see them. Most people will throw them away. But one or two people might be like, oh, yes, this is a service I was actually considering, and this person's actually turned up right in the right time to do it. For us, most of our jobs are, we do it as and when we need a thing. So, need a new roof. I am going to look up online to see who does new roofs in the area I live. But we did have, at the last house we lived, one guy came round. It was just after a tornado had blasted through the area, so there was a lot of hail damage on roofs, and he just came out and he said, look, I am doing I am offering my services. They're not free, you're still going to pay the normal price, but I am going to be in this area repairing a whole ton of roofs, and so if you are interested in having a new roof, we might be able to get it done on insurance if you've got sufficient hail damage, and even if not, I can still offer you a good rate because my teams are in the area, and it's like, I can just ship out a whole ton of roofing felt, and I'm going to have people here, so the team that's ripping off the felt can do that on 20 houses, and the team that's laying the felt can do that on as many houses as they need to do. So it's like, it's a progressive thing, but it's them being out there, and it's the owner being there to it's the owner being there to sell his services. You have to if people don't know about you, they're not going to buy anything, but you need to find out what works to get people to notice you, to recognize you, to say, oh yeah, that's a service I need and I would like to contact you. Now, the thing is a lot of the big YouTubers or Twitch people, they have their own artist team. And so, if they've already got the logos and everything, they're not going to need anything extra. Some people are proficient enough to do something relatively simple themselves. But I'm not an artist person. And I don't have the time to do it. And so, yes, having somebody to do it for me is very brilliant. Oops, wrong one. So yeah, it's just a matter of being there and posting stuff on other people, you know, posting stuff with permission on other people's pages is a great way to sell things while you're not there, while you're not awake. You can sell things while you're sleeping if you've got a web presence. Another thing you could do is people sell this sort of stuff on Etsy. Open up an Etsy shop, post examples of your work, and people will see it and might buy it. They might contract you to do a lot of other things, or they might just say, look, all I'm looking for is a simple logo for my channel, and can you do that for me? Here's what I'm thinking, and you can just go through exactly the same steps we went through, to get what's currently on my channel. Now I have other, I'm going to have to go out this way again. I have other things that I have interests in. So one of the things I'm doing is model railway stuff, and I am going to need a channel, but not a channel. I am going to need a train, probably some logos for that channel eventually. It's going to be very simple, and I'm not streaming, so it'll just be like the OSA channel logo I have, just something I can put up there and identify the channel as me. So at the moment it's just a coloured circle with a letter in the middle of it. So I'd like something a little bit more detailed, but I have not considered it, and I am not releasing any videos on that right now. How am I doing? Actually, how am I doing for fuel? I think we probably should grab some. I think. That's just a wash station. Okay, where's the fuel? I thought the fuel was here. That's not a gas station. Okay. Propane tanks over there. But anyway, yeah, it's all an art, and you can do classes in it. So if you're going to college, among other things, maybe you want to do a how to sell yourself class. Doesn't have to be a complicated one, just something simple. Takes me back to thinking about Star Wars Galaxies. You could originally, you could be a crafter in Star Wars Galaxies. I made robots or droids and spaceships. And the big initial problem was getting yourself noticed. And eventually I figured, well, you have to take some merchant skills in order to have your own vendors, to be able to advertise over an area. So I dropped all of my combat skills and I just became a pure starship and droid manufacturer with a bunch of merchanting skills. Not all of the merchanting skills, just enough to get me noticed. And once I was noticed, I couldn't keep up with the sales. You know, it was like, so much so, I went to work and Mrs. Osa was going out harvesting stuff, finding materials for cheap, and manufacturing all of the components needed for all of the things I was selling. And she said it was a full-time job just to keep the vendors loaded with stuff to sell. We were that successful. So yeah, it's something you have to be prepared to invest in, though. Where am I going? Well, we're at 17. 19 should be around to the right, near the train tracks. I guess once I hit this road at the end, I can head down to the train tracks and see where I need to go. Meanwhile, the time is 5 to 11. So, well, I'm not sure I don't know. I was going to say, I'm not sure I'm going to finish this contract I'm about to do, but that said, maybe I will, because the streets have names. Eureka School Road. Well, there you go. Beware of the tractors. Oh, there's a thing on our left here, which is purple. Oh, and here's the train tracks with absolutely no crossing signal. Oh, that looks like a BGA. So we did this one. Let's collect that. And farmland 19. Oh, it's over there. That's the train tracks. I need to turn around and go back to that farm. I think. Yeah. And that should be access to the field. And that's a small field, so that should be fine. Okay. Miss my turn. So down here, I think after that hedgerow, that field on the left that looks withered should be the one I need to do. Oh, is this a ford? Yes. Okay. And let's unfold this. Here. Let's turn this way. Oh. Yes, this looks like a rather withered field. Not sure why we're fertilizing. That's contracts for you. Maybe there needs to be a mod called sensible contracts, where you don't spray empty fields, you don't spray withered fields. Now, with the empty fields, I would think that what I should be doing on those is maybe spreading manure. I don't have enough of it at the moment, but it's definitely a thought. Anyway, lots and lots and lots of stuff. Another thing you could do is try and find someone who is an artist who sells their work and see if they will give you some advice. Now, the downside is I think there are a lot of people who scam, and so that might not be as straightforward as it would sound. I think there's a lot of people that seem to turn up on my channel and say, oh, I know ways of making you get more viewers and followers and get your name out there and stuff like that. Maybe they do, but all they want to do is get me sending them money. And I have no idea if they know what they're talking about or whether it's just a scam to get me to pay them a ton of money. And that's a problem. But if you can find someone who give you a hand at college, if you're doing an arts course, or if you can make friends with someone in the art department, they might be able to help you expand your business of creating art. I don't know. As I said, I'm not an artist. I don't do that sort of thing, but it sounds about right. Unfortunately, my other hobby, model railroading, or model railways, there are a lot of people on YouTube who will offer you advice, and you don't really have to pay them for it. Now, one of them I do know, he's, not that I can take advantage of one of his services, his railroading advice is free. His how to be a YouTuber, you pay for it. But he is, yeah, he does that. Since he's now sort of kind of a professional YouTuber, which he thinks is a little bit of a joke, because he just likes making model railways and sharing his passion for that. But hey, I've picked up, his theory is I've picked up some tips and I can probably pass them on, but I'm going to charge you for it because it's not a hobby. It's not a hobby. It's sharing knowledge thing. And the model railroad people tend to be fairly, what's the word for it? They all share the stuff they do. If you watch someone, they'll tell you, yeah, I saw this on somebody else's channel, and it works for them, and it seems like a good idea, so I'm trying it out too. With me, the problem is I couldn't remember who I saw doing this. It's, I saw this on a YouTube channel about 10 months ago. I don't know which channel I was watching, but this seemed like a good idea, and if I could remember, I'd tell you, but I can't. Anyway, we have a field two. Oh, we're already 30% away through this field, so I don't think this is going to take too long. Nice thing about fertilization contracts is they generally don't take too long. We are 30% of the way through and 63% left in the tank, so potentially I can get this field done without having to go back to the store for a refill. So I think once this contract's finished, we'll take this back to the farm. Then I am going to, roleplay wise, I'm going to have to figure out what's broken in the John Deere gearbox that won't allow me to select a forward gear, or at least when I select a forward gear it'll actually go forwards. I'm kind of thinking I just have to end the game and restart it, and that'll reset and I'll be able to drive the tractor normally, but for right now that tractor has a gearbox problem that needs to be fixed, so I need to take a look at that later. For next week, I'm thinking, if there's no new contracts out there, I will, on September 2, 3 or 4, it will be October. We will be able to cut our corn. Should we take a look at that while this travels down the line? Okay, corn. It's up here. Oh, September isn't a harvest month anyway, so October or November is the corn harvest months. Well, so it's not a surprise that, hey, I couldn't harvest the corn this month.